Today I'll be showing how to take off a steering wheel airbag of a E60. This is a 2008 BMW 535. The first most complicated thing is getting the airbag off the clamps that it's in. There's two tools you can use. First is a flathead, should be a skinny, not a long one. Or you can use this hex tool, which is really hard to show. I'll show you where the hole is at first. Now I'm going to take the flathead and I'm going to put it in this way. And you want to push. But it's in there. I'm going to push. There's a little wire in here that when you push, it releases. A little hard to record with one hand, but it goes right there. And okay, so there's the airbag. And here's the wire cage. You can see my flathead in here. Put it the way I first showed you. And you push in. Wait, you missed it. You gotta push out a little bit. And as you push in, it contracts these little springs that allow you to get the airbag off. If you're using a flathead, not like this, but you want to go in this way, and you want to push into those wires, and it'll constrict the wires to get the airbag out. And these are the little handles that the airbag has. These are the handles that it catches onto. So when you put the screwdriver in, it'll squeeze them in. Just to take off the airbag itself, which sometimes the wires melt, and you'll have to buy either a used airbag with the cables, or the new airbags come with the cables. And I'm also going to show you how to take the steering wheel off to get to the clock spring. Now to take the steering wheel off, here's what I used. I have a 5/8 with extension, and this is a bar from a bike seat, which I'm going to show you how I use it to get this thing open. You might be laughing, but hey, it works. So you want to put this thing on. It works, and it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be hard to record and do this at the same time, but it'll be something like this. I will use this as extension. It'll create much more power to unscrew it, and my legs will hold the steering wheel in place, and I'll do this. I already loosened the bolt because otherwise it's nearly impossible to do with one hand. You kind of have to. It's really hard with one hand. I've already loosened it, and just bam, you pop it off, but you gotta be careful not to damage the interior. And then you take it off the rest by hand. Pretty good sized big bolt. Take you a while. And before you take the steering wheel off, there's this cable which you want to pull off. Now you have to wiggle it and up and down, and it comes off. And there goes your clock spring. But clock spring also has a plastic cover, so you have to pop it all off. Now you want to be very careful popping off. You don't want to break it. So you have to. I've already released it, but it has these little clips all around these little clips. So you want to be very careful not to break any off. And they all connect into these little spots right here. That's the clock spring. That clock spring has 4 screws. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Once you remove it, there's a cable in here that will mess up and you'll have to buy a new one. So only change the clock spring if you have to. And I'll show you how to do that in a few seconds. So to take the clock spring off, I'm going to use this hex tool, this tiny one. And we're going to unscrew these 4 screws. Once they're all unscrewed, I will unscrew it all to save time. Pull them off. Don't lose them, because you will need them. This is actually kind of the hard part, is that foam gets in the way. Alright, so to get the clock spring off, you want to wiggle it off. With one hand I pull down, with the other hand I pull this out. Same with this side. Pull down and out. Eventually it comes out. Don't break the foam. And there goes your clock spring. So this thing is garbage. I'll show you how to put the new one on.